everyone, this is Yoga with Anna, and I have a series of poses that will be helpful for a happy, healthy spine and can help relieve any back pain. You can do this on the ground, which I recommend. If you don't have a yoga mat or a space, you can also do it on your bed, which can be great when you're getting up or when you're ready to go to bed. To get started, it might be helpful to have a blanket. If you have a prop, a block at home, that can be helpful. If not, you can grab a book or a Tupperware and wrap it in a towel. So to get started, come onto your back body. So rolling onto your back, draw your knees into your chest. And you can start by finding some easy circles of the legs and the hips in one direction. When it comes to the low back, less is always more. So you can find ways of finding subtle movements without having to find the biggest, most spacious movement. And at some point you can reverse the direction of that circling. Just finding your breath. Easy inhales, easy exhales. Slowly resting your feet down onto the ground and have the feet quite wide to the kind of the edges of the mat. Arms can reach out to the side. Begin to gently sway the knees side to side. So just notice if this is bringing any sort of tension into the back. And if something doesn't feel right in the low back, you can always bring the feet closer together and find smaller movements. If you're ever experiencing any low back pain, especially around sitting a lot, whether you're at the computer, at work, or commuting, the breath is a really nice way to tap in and just to notice sensation so that you can prevent injury and become more attuned with your body. To come into the twist, this is where having a blanket or a pillow can be really nice. You bring that blanket or pillow in between your legs. Have your knees and your ankles aligned and tip that twist over towards the right, such that your knees and your ankles are stacked on top of each other. Usually in a twist, one hip will want to kind of guide back, usually the one on the top. So have the knees and the ankles stacked, and then the opposite arm and the side, it'll be the left arm, will reach out to the side. A little trick that I like to do is pressing the right elbow down, lifting the spine and rotating the torso and the sternum to face up to find more of a twist. You might close your eyes, tuning into your breath, finding a nice 10 breaths. Breathing mostly into the low belly and out into the rib cage. If the left hip is scooching back, you might intentionally reach the knees over the ankles once more. This is a really great way of finding alignment in the spine. It can be helpful for anyone, and especially people that might have scoliosis, where their spine needs some extra tuning. When you feel complete with this pose, you can release the prop off to the side, slowly drawing the legs back into the chest, and again finding that nice movement side to side or easy hip circles. Remember, less is more, especially when it comes to caring for our spine and caring for ourselves. When you're ready for the second side, you can bring a towel, blanket, pillow in between the thighs, whatever is available, making sure you have space on your second side, and tipping the structure over towards the left, readjusting the right knee and right ankle on top of the other, reaching the right arm out to the side, and then that trick for the upper spine twist is to lift the upper back, rotating the sternum to face up for your twist. And then once you've settled into your pose, allow the weight of your body to release down. And breathe, especially into your low belly. and into the side waist. Taking another breath or so here. This is a pose that's quite safe, so you can remain here for up to 5 minutes or so on your own. Starting small if these poses are newer to you and building up to that. Slowly allowing the prop to come off to the side. Rolling onto your back once more. And this time, drawing the knees into the chest and a little bit wider towards the shoulders. And now you can rock gently, slowly side to side. When the knees are wider, this can create an opening for the back body and around the hips. Just feel the structure of the knees a little bit wider and the toes coming in. You can really hug your knees into the chest. The low back tends to like that. I'm going to take this structure and flip it upside down. So gently, slowly rolling over to one side. Pressing yourself into a tabletop position. So that's an hands and knees pose. Palms spreading, finding a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, opening the front of the body. Pressing into the ground and rounding through the spine. Find your inhale and exhale link with the movement. So inhale, lifting up. And exhale, breathing out. For the child's pose, I'm going to take that same structure that we did on the back body. The knees are going to come a little bit wider. Just think about where your shoulders are and your knees will be that wide. This is where it can be nice to have a pillow, blanket, or you might even have kind of utilizing both, something underneath your pillow or blanket. Your knees will come off to the side, and then you can drape your upper body over this structure, resting your head one cheek to the side or forehead down. You can always add more pillows or blankets underneath you, and it's okay if the hips aren't reaching all the way down and back. You can have them lifted, and that's still safe for the spine. This pose, child's pose, Balasana, is very safe. You can remain here for an extended period of time. Breathing into the front of the body and the back of the body. If you have a lot of pillows underneath you, one of my favorite variations is to reach the arms underneath, kind of like you're taking a big hug of the structure underneath you and wrapping your arms around it. It can feel very comforting. If your cheek is to one side, for the sake of this video, go ahead and switch sides. Or if you're practicing on your own, remember to switch sides so that the neck isn't turned in one direction for too long. This is a structure that you can change as well. If the low back is really sensitive with this, you can always bring the knees closer together and have more pillows underneath you. You can also adjust the pose such that the knees come wider. And in that variation, you might open more into the hips. Just know it can be more straining on the low back, so it's important to check in with your body. Take a few more breaths in child's pose. When you're ready to unwind, have your palms underneath you. Gently press up. You can place all of your props off to the side. You have to have a pillow or a blanket nearby. We're going to come onto the belly. So reaching the legs back behind you, slowly lowering down. And this is where the prop off to the side can be nice. We'll start with the left leg, so you can bend the left knee out to the side and have pillow or blanket underneath it. Hands can stack. You can rest your forehead onto your hands or also have a second blanket or pillow. For this variation, I recommend having the forehead down rather than one cheek to the side. This can be a way of relieving stress around the low back. It's a passive hip opener. Sometimes tight hips can lead to low back pain. You can also stay here in the structure for a longer period of time. If you want to take the twisting variation of this pose, you can come onto your elbows. This is called a Sphinx pose. The twisting variation is the left arm will reach forward. The right arm will thread down, so in the same direction as the knee. This is where nice you could have an extra pillow or prop here. And then the top arm reaches up and over. Doesn't matter how far you reach in the twist. Really think about breathing into this waist and mid-body area. You're welcome to stay here for longer. And when you're ready to unwind, go slow. So this is a big twist. So slowly, one step at a time. The left arm will come down. Press into the ground. Become unwind. Lengthen both legs back behind you. The counter pose. So the arms to reach forward and the forehead to reach down. You can lift one leg and stretch it longer. Lift the second leg to reach it longer. Once more each side. Finding a lot of length in the spine. Big breath in. Big breath out. Then for the second side, the low back and hip opener. Bring your pillow or blanket off to the right side. So now the right knee will come to about the height of the hip. Make sure you have that support right underneath it. Forehead comes down. And breathe. And stay here for a long period of time. No need to take the next variation, especially if you're working with an already kind of sore low back. But if you do want to take the twist, press into the right hand, lifting the upper body. Slide the left shoulder down. I'll demonstrate on this side. It can feel nice to have an extra pillow or a block for this twist. And then the right arm will reach up. Your body will kind of slide towards the right. You might open up into the twist. This twist that I'm demonstrating in this variation is quite a big one. So you don't have to go so far. You can always stay more on your side body, even resting your arm along your body, or resting your arm, reaching overhead if that feels nice. If you're comfortable in your twist, stay for a few more rounds of breath. Or whenever you're ready to unwind, you can shift any prop underneath your head off to the side. Press your right hand down to unwind the left arm into your Sphinx pose. Slide both legs and both arms long. Taking a big reach, big stretch. And exhaling all the way out. With as much ease as possible, try to roll onto your back. Again, you can find a little rock side to side by bringing your knees into your chest. We'll take one more variation. It can be nice for the low back. If this is newer towards you, inversions, then have a pillow. If you are more familiar with supported bridge or inversions, you can have a block or a book with a towel wrapped around it. slide whatever prop, pillow, or blanket underneath your low back until about your mid back, kind of where your lower ribs are. Draw your knees into your chest, and then you can reach your legs into the sky, and have the arms by the sides, palms face up. So it's providing just a little bit of lift underneath the low back. If you want to roll out through the ankles, it can feel really nice. You can stay here for a long period of time. I'm just going to demonstrate the variation with the block. So the block, or using a book with a towel wrapped around it, can be nice because it's a little bit firmer. So sometimes the low back likes that firm positioning. This position, it'll come right underneath low back, up close to the rib cage, knees draw into the chest, legs reach into the sky. Same thing, if you wanted, you could roll your ankles or close your eyes and just feel your legs floating in space. This is a position that can also be done up against a wall, such that your hips would be a couple inches away from the wall, and then the legs would rest up against the wall. So very happy and healthy for the spine, and the nervous system really loves these poses. When you're ready to release, the release is one knee at a time into the chest, and then one leg at a time with the foot grounds down. So go slow. You can slide anything out from underneath you. For a final resting pose, it might feel really nice to stay right here with the feet on the ground. One variation is to walk the legs, the feet just a little bit wider, and let the knees come together. Sometimes that can bring relief. If you want to extend your legs out long, great time to use a blanket, towel, or bolster. Anything underneath the knees to lie down and have the knees bend. The low back loves that. So take any variation of a resting pose, allowing that time to be one in which you can feel the breath moving in and out of the body, like healing waves of breath all the way up the spine and all the way down the spine. When you feel complete, it'd be really nice to take a big stretch of the arms overhead. Imagine a friend holding onto your wrist, giving a gentle hug to reach longer, longer, longer. Exhaling all the way out through the mouth. If the feet are extended, legs are extended, have one foot on the ground at a time. Roll over to your side, pausing here for a breath. This can be a nice way to find the connection with the ground. Feel the spine aligned, the body, mind, spirit connected. And easy. Press yourself up into a final seated position, anything that's comfortable. A nice way to end is with a few rounds of cat-cow. So that just means inhale, lengthening, opening the front of the body. And exhale, softening down, letting the chin come into the chest. One more time, just like that. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, softening down. You reach the arms up and overhead. Bringing the palms at heart center and honoring this time and this effort that you've taken for your practice today. So thank you for joining, and send me any of your requests. I would love to see you soon. Bye.